Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 3 of Nighttime. My name is Camden and Emily, and today we are going to challenge ourselves to talk UCF golf, men's and women's tennis. We're also, of course, going to be discussing the volleyball team and the women's and men's soccer team. And you know it, we got to talk about that football game against Louisville last week. Now stay tuned. We got a lot to talk about today. Nighttime starts right now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Nighttime. We're going to start off the show with our men's golf team. I am very excited to talk about golf. We haven't talked about golf this season yet. It's a new sport for us here at Nighttime. So let's get right to it. We are joined by lovely Noah Kemper. Thank you, Noah, for being here. How are you today?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad to have my season debut on Nighttime once again.
Yeah, Noah, last time you came on while Kansas was playing basketball and they were doing great. I don't know why you're not coming on for football, because your Jayhawks are kind of killing it in football, undefeated right now. I mean, you got to be excited to root for all those blue teams, huh?
Well, you know, I did call in the last segment that Kansas would win the college basketball championship, but just saying.
That's either here or there, because we're going to be talking about UCF men's golf today to start off this show. Emily, why don't you go and kick us off?
All right, well, let's start it off with Luis Carrera. He is our star player that we are highlighting today in men's golf. And in his senior year, he participated in all 11 tournaments. He had a scoring average of 73.88, and he is on fire. He is one of our top players on our golf team. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't really know all the rules of golf. I'm not a huge avid golf watcher, but I know enough to get me through this segment. So that's all I have to say. Camden, let's throw it to you. What do you think about Luis Carrera?
Okay, I'll go ahead and break that down for you. So usually on golf, there's usually like a par 70, 72, even a 74 on hard courses. So he's averaging, like you said, 73.88. We'll just call that a 74. So this guy's really good, all right? He's shooting either at par or a little bit above par, 1 or 2 over. And last year in a game where I think it's called the Gator Invitational, he shot a 67, which not a lot of pros even do that. Now, I'm not sure the difficulty of the course he was playing, but 67 is really good in golf. I can tell you my dad shoots about a 90 every week. He's terrible, so just want to put that out there. For a guy that I think has definitely played golf in his life, Noah, what do you think about this guy shooting 73 on average last year?
Well, I don't play golf, but yeah, 70 average last year, I think that is outstanding, and it'll be great to see him back in action again as, you know, the Knights golf team looks to sink the hearts of Connecticut fans when they take on Hartford.
Nice.
So I've been waiting to say that line.
Appreciate that pun. I know you came up with that one yesterday. Now, last season they did play the same tournament in Hartford against Connecticut. Would you call us the Heartbreakers? Now, we did place first in that tournament last year. So, Emily, I'm going to ask you, do you think we can repeat and place first in this tournament again?
I think we can, honestly, because last year we were a high-scoring team in the tournament. We had a total of 829 points, and we had a par 72 round 1, 284 points that was round 1. Round 2 is 275, and round 3, 270. So the scores are looking great, and I think we can totally recreate last year, if not do even better.
All right, let's go ahead and throw to men's tennis, a new sport that we're also trying out. The tennis team, we do know some people on this team. Their names do sound a little bit familiar. We've got this, what's it called? The Fall Sizzler, which I have no clue what that means. We looked it up, couldn't find a single thing about it. All we know is where it is and what time it is. Noah, what do you think about this men's tennis team?
So, well, like you said, the Fall Sizzler, couldn't find much on it, but I did see that was our lone home tournament for the season. So definitely something to check out. Look forward to that tournament. Men's tennis definitely looks far more improved. I've seen their star players include
Let's try Leighton Cronje. That's what we're gonna go with.
Leighton Cronje and Bogdan Patel Hopefully I pronounced that right. And well, Patel has very much improved this season, going 8-13 in doubles to now a record, to now a winning record. Now trying to improve this season, trying to be the corn of the crop, really get his name out there.
Right. I know we're struggling to get through men's tennis. Now, Emily, what do you think about this men's tennis team? Leighton Cronje coming up. We got a big name. He's returning for his 5th year, I believe. You think he's going to be big and impactful for this team?
I think he actually is, and I think he's going to be, if not a huge impact, but a leader for this team. He had a record of 10 out of 10 in singles and 11-8 in doubles, which is pretty impressive. And he helped the Knights gain 2 points in both singles and doubles against Louisville last year and was named All-Conference in doubles on May 5th, 2022.
Right, I did see that as well.
So that is really impressive for one player to carry in 1 year. So I think that, let's not put all the pressure on him, but I definitely think he's going to be a leader on this team.
Right, now let's get to a sport where, big shocker, our women's team is better than our men's team. Women's tennis last year was actually really good. They went 16-8. And Marie Mattel, let's go ahead and talk about her because we traveled to NC State and Florida Gulf Coast to play against both of those teams. For some reason, the tournament says it's hosted in Texas, but the games are played in NC State and Florida Gulf Coast, so I don't really know how that works. Noah, do you have any thoughts about Marie Mattel and how we're going to do on women's tennis this year?
Well, January 25th, 2021. Does that date ring a bell? No. Probably not to you, but it does to the women's tennis team as they lost to NC State 4-0. And this team led by Mary Mattel is looking for a revenge game. Yes, a revenge game against NC State, and they will win this time. They have yet to beat NC State. Bet your life savings. This is the game they break through. And Florida Gulf Coast, 8-1 against them with the records, so that should be another advantage. So I expect them to ace both these matches.
Well, nobody that has ever said bet your life savings has ever been correct, I don't think. But let's go ahead and get to Nightlight right before commercial. It's a new segment we're doing. The 2 hints that I'm going to give you for our Nightlight of the Week, or mine specifically, is that she scored her first goal of the season against North Carolina, and she was also on the under-18, under-19 Orlando national team. Can you guess who it is? When we come back, I'll let you know. All right, welcome back to segment 2 of Nighttime, where we are going to be talking about sports that we've already covered this year. When we left off, I was letting you know a little bit of hints about my Nightlight of the Week, and as you could see, it was none other than I already blanked on her name. Ellie Marino, I'm sorry. She had her first goal of the season against North Carolina, and I believe it was her 12th goal overall, and that goal was actually assisted by none other than Mallory Olson, who is friends with Hannah Jo Groves, our very own at Hitting the Field. Now, that we are here to talk about segment 2, let's throw to Mason Migliera. Mason, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be back and talking some women's soccer today.
Right. Well, I know you talked about volleyball last week, and you absolutely carried that segment, so you did great with that last week. We love having you on, and hopefully you become a regular of this show.
I would hope. Yeah, hopeful.
Good. All right, Emily, get us into this women's soccer team.
Well, let's just start off by saying we are now in the number 2 spot because of our wonderful win against UNC 2-1. So that is a huge thing going for our women's soccer team. But let's be honest, are we surprised it's our women's soccer team? No, we're not, because they are amazing. And honestly, I am so excited to talk about our conference opener game versus Memphis, because last time we played Memphis, we did lose 2-0, but we have a total of 10 wins against them, 13 losses. So this game could go either way, but the way that our girls soccer team has been playing, I think we have a shot at winning this game. And I think this is going to be good, very good for us. Mason, what do you think?
I don't mean to
Yeah, go ahead.
burst
Just-
your,
I
I
know
don't
what
mean to
you're
burst
gonna
your
say.
bubble. But we actually lost that game to UNC, and UNC is ranked number 2 in the country. So I think that's
We're
where
not
you were,
ranked, but it's okay.
I think that's where you were kind of going with it.
Yes.
But yeah, we did end up losing 2-1 to number 2 UNC. So obviously, a little tough there. We did have a 1-0 lead earlier in the game, but then we ended up giving up 2 goals. We had like 0 opportunities after our first goal. So, especially without Kristen Scott, which I'm sure we'll get into.
We will.
But yeah, definitely a tough loss for us. But yeah.
Well, you're right. This game was absolutely tough, and it was very frustrating to watch. I had to write the recap of this game. It's on the UCF website. Please go read it. Show me support is the first article I got to write. But I had to watch this entire game. We scored early in that 24th minute with my nightlight, like I said, Ellie Marino. But after that, we kind of held North Carolina to nothing. They had like 9 offsides in the first half because of how aggressive they were trying to be. And then right before half, they knotted it up to tie us up 1-0. That game was unfortunate because then the second half came around. And North Carolina absolutely showed why they're the number 2 team in the country. They knotted another goal in the 58th minute, I believe. And after that, we really didn't have any chances till the 83rd minute. Now, this game against Memphis that you talked about, Memphis is supposed to be like the winner of the conference. They're projected to be number 1, which I know, Mason, you brought up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that we'll be able to win even if Kristen Scott does not play?
I don't know. I'm going to say yes. I mean, I always got to show faith in our team. Although Kristen Scott is out with that injury to her lower leg,
Right.
I do believe that we can pull it out because if we did this well against number 2 UNC, I think we can pull it out against Memphis, but we'll see.
Right. This was a very winnable game. I'm going to ask you, Emily, if Kristen Scott was there, we probably get closer, tie, maybe even win that game. If Kristen Scott does not play this game against Memphis, can we win it?
Yes, I think we can. Between our amazing coach and the dynamic that our team has, I think that we totally have the confidence that we need to win this game.
I agree with you. I hope so. Obviously, I have to talk positive about UCF, but it's really good when our team is actually good, right? Now, speaking of teams that are good, a team that is flying under the radar right now, they might have not played anybody, but our men's soccer team is winners of 3 straight right now. I don't know exactly who they've beaten, but their only loss is to, I believe, top 10 opponent Wake Forest. Now, Mason, we do start our conference game at Temple. What do you see with that game coming up here?
I see a win. I see us continuing our winning ways, going on 4 in a row. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say.
I agree. I hope we win. Emily, before we get to volleyball, do you think we're going to win this men's soccer game against Temple?
100%. We have 8 wins against them and 2 losses and 2 ties. So by those scores alone, I think that just proves that we have what it takes to beat this team.
I agree. Hopefully we get 2 wins there with our women's and men's soccer team. Now let's go ahead and get into that, especially Mason. We're going to go ahead and talk about volleyball. I know you got to be excited for that. Now, we did sweep our opponents this weekend against UNCW, Miami, and UIC. Now, I know we're going to talk about that Miami game in a little bit, but let's just talk about the weekend overall. How do you think the Knights played, sweeping all of their opponents?
They played outstanding this weekend. They started off the weekend sweeping UNCW 3-0, and then that game against Miami, that was absolutely amazing. That was so awesome. Miami, that's a big team. That's a big name. So having them come in here and us taking them out, that is super, super exciting. And then also beating UIC, they were pretty good coming into this, and I believe they beat Miami as well in this tournament. So for us to come out and still be undefeated, I am excited.
All right, Emily, I'm going to ask you, this game against Miami, we won it. It was a close game. How do you think the Knights played, able to pull that one out at our home?
I mean, obviously it just shows, we always know our volleyball team is great. We know that they will pull out a win through the toughest game, through the easiest game. We will always pull out a win. And I think that, having such a close score against a team like Miami, which has a pretty good volleyball reputation, I think, just proves that we have what it takes to continue winning like how we've been. And although it was close, I still think we're at our fullest potential, if not higher.
Now, some of us were actually at that game. Me, John Alfano, Johnny Jackson, Doug, Iowa fan, Ella in there. You know who she is. But Mason, I want to ask you, there was that player on Miami that you were talking about that we kind of kept in check this weekend, didn't we?
Yeah, we held Yardemichi, Payman Yardemichi, to only 8 kills. She came into the weekend with 71 kills and a 338 hitting percentage. This weekend she had only 8 on 34 attempts, and I think that equates to a .029 hitting percentage. She was absolutely bottled up this weekend, and that is what helped us win this game against Miami.
Well, we had a bunch of blocks. We were definitely limiting her getting the ball over the net. Before we get into this tournament we're playing, I do want to say this game against Miami was actually the second most in all volleyball attendance that we've ever had. Thanks to Alex Funderburg, who gave me that stat. We had over 1,400 people at this game, only behind our opening volleyball game ever in 2008. So very impressive. Knight Nation showed out against Miami, and it was definitely worth it. Now this tournament, we're going to Kansas, and we play, I don't even know, Lipscomb, Omaha, Kansas. Should be 3 wins across the board, but more importantly, McKenna Melville is about to break the school record. I believe the number for kills is 2151, and it looks like in these next 3 days, or these next 3 games, she should be able to reach that. Now, Emily, how do you think she's going to be able to do this, and how impressive is it that she's going to be like the best volleyball player in school history?
I am so honored to say that I go to the same school as her because that's awesome. But are we surprised? She is amazing. She is one of our best players we have, and I'm so excited to watch her break this record because this will be huge for UCF, huge for UCF women's sports, and huge for her altogether. I think this is going to make a great mark on this team and our school. But I also want to talk about the tournament because all 3 teams were playing in the tournament. We have beat all 3 of them last time we played them. So I think that we're going to win this tournament altogether, and I think it's going to be pretty good. So I just wanted to mention that.
All right, Emily, great stuff. Mason, I'm going to thank you for coming on. But before commercial, we got to go ahead and get to Emily's Nightlight. So go ahead and take it away.
Well, my Nightlight player is our newest transfer on our football team. He is a wide receiver, and that's all I'm going to give you. And let's see if you can guess it when we come back from this commercial break.
Welcome to HCF Hot Takes. I'm Johnny Jackson. We've got Emily Aaron to my right and Maluka Costa to my left.
Hello and welcome to our segment of Hot Ones. I'm here with Noah Kemper and Grant
Wheeler.
Yep, I knew that. Grant Wheeler.
Listen, I'm a Bulls fan, but I just can't ever argue against LeBron. I watched him my whole life.
I've been going back and forth with this debate for a long time. It's got to be Michael Jordan.
Whatever she wanted. I would wake up in a maid costume for Doja Cat.
Brutal.
Jeffrey Laux, no question.
Richie, I would give it to Richie.
It is not Richie. It is not Richie.
No, it's Jeff.
Richie's pronouns are he, they, because he cannot be him.
What?
Oh, wait a second.
I'm gonna have to also agree and say Jeff. He always is spiffy.
It might be Cameron. Cameron's had some good fits.
Out of the women, Norelli always dresses really, really cute.
Oh, brother. That went so awful.
It's basketball.
College football, I think, is the best sport to watch.
If you don't like soccer, it's because you suck at it.
I think college football is the best.
Thanks for watching.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. If you haven't guessed my Nightlight player, well, it is Javon Baker. He is our junior from Bama that we just got, our newest wide receiver. He got 1 touchdown versus South Carolina State and 84 reception yards total. He has a total of 168 receiving yards this season, and man, am I excited to continue watching him on that field. He has been doing amazing so far. And with that, let's hop right into football. We are joined by Nate and John. Thank you for being here today.
Hello.
How are you guys?
We're doing good. And we got some sunglasses on because we're about to throw some shade at the football team.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be doing a lot better if we had won that game on Friday, but you know.
Oh, that was rough. So I do want to say this, John, you have no issue calling me out, and I feel like we're going to argue today, so that's great. Nate, I'm sorry, you should have mentioned this. Nate was also at that volleyball game that we were talking about last segment, so I'm sorry I forgot about you, Nate.
It's okay.
Okay. All right. Let's start with this. UCF football. We're angry, okay? UCF had a chance to get revenge on Louisville, right? At home. 1 year after losing 42-35 in that game where Dylan Gabriel broke his collarbone, derailed the rest of the season. Do you remember how excited we were going into that game? And then
we thought we were going to win.
we thought we were going to win by a lot.
I said last episode that it was going to be a blowout, and me and Kelly said this is a middle school team.
This team had just gotten blown out.
Way wrong.
They had just gotten blown
Way
out by
wrong.
Syracuse.
Way
And
wrong.
here we come. The Knights can't even get the job done against Louisville at home. John, you're very good at showing your opinions, so why don't you start us off with what went wrong in this game?
Yeah, so all around that game physically hurt me, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I get having a bad offensive game, but like what really bothered me is that we didn't even make an attempt to adjust. Like, Louisville shut us down like with 40 minutes left in the game, and we just made no effort to change it up. Like, and I actually think the defense did a pretty decent job, but you can't just rely on them against a quarterback like Malik Cunningham, who can be a threat every single time he touches the ball.
Yeah, guy had over 100 yards rushing, and I think he had 200 yards plus passing, so definitely did not limit him. And still only gave up 20 points, still had 3 chances at the end to win the game. Nate, I'm going to ask you, why could we not get this job done against a team that we are better than?
Well, I mean, first, the offensive line was not good. They gave up 4 sacks. You know, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. You could have a Waffle House employee back there, and it's going to be a rough go when they're giving up 4 sacks. They had 2
like
holding
10.
calls. 2 holding calls that called back touchdowns for Javon Baker and Johnny Richardson. So, I mean, that's really where it starts. I mean, if you can't protect the quarterback, if you're having penalties that are costing you points in a 6-point game, I mean, that's kind of where it starts and ends for me.
Well, you're right. It didn't really matter who was under center because the only 2 touchdowns that UCF scored were while Isaiah Bowser were in the Wildcat, weren't they? So while John Rice Plumlee was under center or in shotgun, whatever you want to call him, he did not score at all, which was awfully unfortunate. One thing you guys did not mention, I know you said something about penalties, but 11 penalties for 111 yards. Yes, Louisville had 1 more penalty, but those touchdowns brought back would have been game-changing. Emily, I wish you were at the game with us to yell and scream because it was truly an electric environment. But unfortunately, we could not get the job done. What do you think went wrong for this team?
Stop throwing interceptions. What are you doing? He needs to be out.
Wow.
He needs to be out. Plumlee needs to be out. If you are the hot topic of our football team and you are performing like that as our starting quarterback, are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion. I think that's ridiculous. And we should have won that game completely. And honestly, you can't put all the blame on the quarterback. Correct, because it's a team effort. But the quarterback is one of the strongest players of the team. And if your quarterback, I'm not going to say it, but if your quarterback is not really great, then you're going to not have a great team. And look what happened. We lost to Louisville. Are you kidding me? No way. No way. Plumlee needs out. Out, 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 out. Out, out.
Emily, I want to keep that energy while you still got it. This guy was your nightlight last week, so you're flipping the script entirely.
Yes, I'm totally flipped all over the place. I was not at the game, but I kept up with the game, and I was talking to my friends who were there so I could because I was like, he's my nightlight player. I need to know everything that he did. Well,
not a lot.
Come on. I just sold him as the best quarterback that we're about to have, and then he performs like that? Are you kidding me? No way. Absolutely not. Out.
All right, let's get to the guests to argue about this. Now, JRP, does he still deserve to start after that great performance against Louisville?
No.
I think you give him 1 more week. John, Nate, please go argue each other because you know I can't.
Well, Emily, I don't know if I can match the sheer passion you showed there, but I do kind of agree with you.
Yes.
We need we have great wide receivers, even if we had some injuries with O'Keefe and Hudson not playing. But like we need to be able to take advantage of that. And Plumlee was throwing like a cannoli out there. we need someone who can take better advantage of throwing the ball. We have a good passing attack. Our offensive line should be good on paper. So
right, like you said, he threw that ball like a glizzy. Nate, I'm going to ask you, please reason with me. Does he deserve to be benched?
No, he does not. I mean, when the offensive line isn't protecting him, I mean, it's only his 2nd start since 2019. He's not going to all of a sudden be, one of the best quarterbacks in college football in 2 games. Louisville was a huge upgrade compared to South Carolina State. So, I mean, they had a much better game plan.
Okay, but why are they selling him as this hot new quarterback that's gonna
Well, I mean,
take
you
us.
have to. What you want to say? Well, our quarterback's, he's not that good, but we're going to start him anyways. I mean, he's very athletic. He can throw. He just had a bad game.
No.
All right, well, now that that's over, we do play FAU this weekend. I'm pretty sure we're running out of time. So let's go get to primetime picks, because that is something that I know Emily wants to talk about. Emily, you beat me. Go ahead. Have fun.
Yes, I did, and I won Kentucky versus Florida. And let me tell you, that was one of the best games. I watched it. It was awesome, and I don't want to say I can't believe I won, because I had all faith in Kentucky. But, like I said, Tim Tebow was the only thing UF had going for them.
Wow.
And look, they proved it. All right, so our new game of the week is BYU versus Oregon.
I'm getting you on this one.
I am taking BYU, and I am winning 100%. 100%. Our total wins is 2-0, and Oregon is 1-1. So I think we have this. We've won all our games.
Okay, so you're going with the Mormon team that just beat a top 10 Baylor. All right, I like your pick, except I don't like it because Oregon is going to be angry. Do you know the last time they were on national television, they got blown out by Georgia, which I know John wants to talk about. Yeah. But I'm going with Oregon. I think their jerseys are better, and BYU is a bunch of Mormons. So, boo, go
That's
Oregon.
That's why you're picking it, because of the jerseys? Are you kidding me?
Oregon's jerseys are so much better. Are you kidding me? It's not even close. But no, I'm picking them because I actually believe Oregon's going to come out and win. John, Nate, What about you?
Okay, first of all, your jersey claim is absolutely wrong. No team with good jerseys should have to make a new one every single week. That's just absurd. And second of all, I definitely agree with you, Emily, on that BYU pick. Yes. And I could give you all the stats in the world, but I'm just going to give you straight facts. BYU has beaten 2 Golden Green teams already. They beat that team down in Tampa, and they beat Baylor last week.
John, are you going to be a Mormon after this game? Is that what you're going to? Are you going to be a Mormon?
Maybe. Who knows? Okay. You never know. I don't even know what I'm going to have for breakfast tomorrow. So, Nate, take it away. Give me BYU.
I think BYU momentum coming off of the win against Baylor. I think they take it.
Okay. Wait, who is your pick?
BYU.
You guys are all going against me?
3 against 1, Camden.
How about this?
Wake-up call.
John, last time
I'm winning this one again.
John, last time you were on the show, you picked who? Cincinnati. What happened? Lost. So John is my good luck charm because when John is on...
What happened to your pick last week, bro?
You weren't on. So now that you're on, it means I'm going to win. All right. Okay. I'm taking the favorite. I'm taking the safe pick to come out. I don't get it. I don't get how you guys are going to go with a team that just beat Baylor on the road, right? Or was that game at home? I actually have no idea. But you can't beat a top 10 team and then expect to play good again the next week. Look at what Florida just did. They just had the exact same game go on where they beat a top 10 opponent and then laid a turd against Kentucky. All right? You're not thinking about that. These guys are 19-year-old kids, and you know that they're going to not play as well as they did last week. John, what you got to that, Mr. Mormon?
I mean, you make a compelling case there, Camden. I've never heard a more compelling argument in my life. But, are you seriously doubting them? Are you going to pick the team that just got destroyed against Georgia?
Yes, they're going to be on fire. Are you kidding me?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
They're still reeling from that loss. Are you going to say they turned it around after playing Eastern Washington?
I'm sorry, but did Oregon win both games that they played? Wrong, they didn't. Did BYU? Yes, they did. Thank you.
To be fair, Georgia would do that to a lot of teams.
That is so true. Thank you,
Bo Nix and Dan Lanning still have a lot to prove.
You expect a team ranked number 11 to score more than 3 points and not allow 49.
All right. Thank you all for coming on. I want to appreciate everybody from Noah Kemper to Mason Migliera to Nate Marrero to John Alfano, and of course my great co-host Emily Aaron for joining us on episode 3 of Night Time. Let's go out there and beat FAU. Go Knights, charge on.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated champs, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back. Okay, always locked in, now I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta